Mel Kiper dropped a new mock draft, so we're going to react to his selection for the New Orleans Saints at number 8 overall here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you haven't already, friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the mock draft right here, right now. Wasting no time, picks 1 through 4. Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, Francis Mauanoa, and David Bailey are your top 4 selections. And then when you get to 5, 6, and 7, you see Carnell Tate, Spencer Fano, and Ruben Bain Jr. Now the New Orleans Saints are on the clock at number 8 overall, so I want to ask you, who are you picking? Jeremiyah Love, Caleb Downs, or Jordyn Tyson? Share your thoughts down in the comment section. Type the initials of the player you would like to draft. Without further ado, let's tell you who Mel Kiper had selected in this draft. Now, Jordyn Tyson was the selection for this pick, number 8 overall. Mel Kiper Jr. opted to go with the Arizona State wide receiver to provide a little bit of depth to the wide receiver position and give Tyler Shough another weapon. And for what it's worth, I don't love the pick. I don't hate the pick, but I do want to tell you more about the pick and what Mel Kiper said here in just a second. First things first, today's video is sponsored by Prize Picks. The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with Prize Picks. If you're missing your fantasy team, my league is already over, but with Prize Picks, we can play fantasy every day. I don't have to wait till next year's draft to keep playing fantasy football. Prize Picks lets you play fantasy football every week, even in the playoffs. Pick your favorite players, and when they hit their projections every week, no draft required. If you need an example of how Prize Picks works, I got a pretty good lineup for the championship games this upcoming weekend. I'm going to be taking a little more on Jarrett Stidham interceptions, Ramondre Stevenson more on his rushing yards, and then for the other game, I'm going to be taking the Puka Nacua more on his touchdowns and Sam Darnold more on his passing yards. Life's too short to project the less, so I'm taking the more on everything. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link is clickable in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Use our promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Jordyn Tyson was the selection at number 8 overall for the New Orleans Saints by Mel Kiper Jr. in his latest mock draft. And I do think that it's a selection that is okay. It's not amazing, but let's see what Mel had to say. After rumors swirled about Chris Olave being on the trade market ahead of the deadline this season, it looks as if New Orleans is hanging on to its star wideout. However, Olave is under contract for only 1 more year, and even if the Saints extend him, they still need more pass-catching options for second-year quarterback Tyler Shough. Consider that Rashid Shaheed was the only other wide receiver in New Orleans with over 300 receiving yards this season, and he was dealt at the deadline. Jordyn Tyson could immediately be a red zone target for Tyler Shough, thanks to his strength and ability on contested catches. Now, all in all, I keep saying it, and it's very, very true. I like the idea of drafting Jordyn Tyson. I don't love it. Like, it's no disrespect to the player. I just am very concerned with the injury history that he has, and considering he missed the entire 2024 season or 2023 season to injuries, it isn't something that makes me super, super excited. He is a great player, but he's had to deal with a lot of injuries. In 2022, he tore his ACL, MCL, and PCL at once. He broke his collarbone in 2024, and in 2025, he was limited this season due to some hamstring issues. But when you look at the production over the 3 years he's had in college football, in 2022 with Colorado, but in 2024 and 2025, he was with Arizona State. I just think with Jordyn Tyson, he was really, really good in 2024. He kind of took a step back in 2025. I mean, he averaged over 21 yards per catch in 2022, 14.7 in 24, and 11.7 in 25. The big theme with him is, can he stay on the field? And it seems like the New Orleans Saints are opting to go best player available, and I just don't know if Jordyn Tyson was the best player available. Now, I got more to tell you guys about in Jordyn Tyson and what Mel Kiper had to say, but quick reminder to subscribe to the channel. We're sitting here on the road to 55,000 subs, and you can help us out by hitting the sub button today. We put out daily videos by Saints fans for Saints fans for 100% free, so if you would like to get more content throughout the offseason and the regular season, I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel for free. Now, more from Mel Kiper on Jordyn Tyson. Fun fact, he actually had a 43.8 contested catch rate in 2025. I mean, obviously, that's pretty impressive for 50-50 balls. That being said, I don't think it's elite by any means. Jordyn Tyson, though, he does have a superpower. Even when he looks like he's covered, he is always open, according to Mel Kiper, and he's essentially uncoverable in the red zone. And I do think that that's an area where the New Orleans Saints could be more successful and use a little bit extra help. The red zone was not an area of strength for the New Orleans Saints, especially at the beginning of the season, but I do think that they need to find ways to, A, be more explosive, and B, be more efficient when it comes to closing out drives and scoring once you get inside the 20, and hell, even at the 25. It feels like there's been a lot of times where the Saints just stall out as soon as they get into the opposing team's territory. Now, if you look at the potential offense, let's say Alvin Kamara comes back. There's nothing drastic happening there. I don't think anything will happen. But obviously, Tyler Shough is your QB1. Alvin Kamara is your RB1. Chris Olave, Jordyn Tyson, Juwan Johnson. I mean, if you go with Tyson at 8 overall, this is your potential offense. Obviously, if you take if you take a different player, if you take the running back out of Notre Dame, Jeremiyah Love, I'm having a brain fart right here. If you take Jeremiyah Love, too many J Loves in the NFL. If you take Jeremiyah Love, then obviously that changes some things. But if you take Jordyn Tyson, this is what your offense would look like. I don't think it's a bad-looking offense. For what it's worth, I think that that's a unit that could score some points. And I think that that's a squad that you could get good production out of. But I don't think that Jordyn Tyson was the best player available. So I'm going to ask you to grade the pick. I'm going to give you my grade here in a moment, but I want to hear from you down in the comment section. Grade the selection of Mel Kiper Jr. picking Jordyn Tyson, number 8 overall. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give you my grade in one moment, but I want to hear from you first. I think you guys could probably take a guess at what my grade is going to be. It's not an F. Like, for what it's worth, I don't think it's a terrible pick. It's a B-, though. Like, I just feel like when you're operating in the current situation that you're in with the New Orleans Saints, Jordyn Tyson would be a fine pick, but it's not the best pick. In my personal opinion, the best picks for the New Orleans Saints, it would either be David Bailey. I have a hard time believing that he's going to be available at number 8 overall. Jeremiyah Love, or Caleb Downs. I would rather have one of those 3 players. And honestly, I really would rather have Jeremiyah Love or Caleb Downs. Like, I think that those are 2 players that'll be massive talents, add a huge dynamic to whichever side of the football, the respective sides of the football. I really like the idea of helping out the rushing attack. No disrespect to Alvin Kamara by any means, but I think that the rushing offense needs a little bit of a spark, and I think that you could easily get an upgrade with Jeremiyah Love, but I also think the defense could totally get a facelift and really get some high-level players in the draft as well. So that's kind of where you go to this charade of, do you go offense? Do you go defense? What position do you go? I just think that's where I go to my final thought. Best player available. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's an offensive player. Doesn't matter if it's a defensive player. Doesn't matter if it's a receiver, a running back, a lineman, an edge rusher, a linebacker, a safety. I could care less what the position is. Get me the best player available. Bring me the guy who will make the biggest and most immediate impact to my team in day one. That's what I want with the number 8 overall pick. If that's Jordyn Tyson because of how the board falls, so be it. If that's Carnell Tate, that's Jeremiyah Love, that's David Bailey, if it's Caleb Downs, if it's Fernando frickin' Mendoza, won't happen. Doesn't matter. You got to improve your roster. The New Orleans Saints are in a really cool position, the best position they've been in since Drew Brees retired this offseason. So find a way to make your roster a little bit better. Raise the talent level just a little bit, and you'll get to pay off in a large way. Now, I appreciate you guys for tuning into today's video. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. We reacted to Mel Kiper Jr.'s selection of Jordyn Tyson at number 8 overall. What do you guys think of the pick? I think it's fine. I like it. I don't love it, but I want to hear from you in the comment section because we put the chat in Chat Sports. Appreciate you for tuning in. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.